you saw interest rates rocketing, and then the housing market absolutely slump as a result of people no longer being able to pay their mortgage payments. And clearly the government wants to do everything they can to avoid that. So you've had the fiscal stimulus programme, and now Gordon Brown has announced something else quite significant this afternoon in the House of Commons, and that debate obviously is going to go on. So from here at Westminster, Louise, back to you in the studio.
Okay, John, thanks very much, and we'll be back here with you as well a little bit later. Let's just continue and try and get some advice for people and what that might mean, actually. We can talk to Becky Wilkes. She's from the Helpline and Advisory Service National Debt Line. Thanks very much for joining us. I know you've been listening to Gordon Brown, and you obviously talk to people with difficulties all the time. What kind of difference will this make to them?
Well, hopefully it will make a really big difference. I mean, the pre-action protocol that's come in that was 3 months before they look at taking repossession action, and it's great that some of the lenders have now already signed up to 6 months. So it would be great if other lenders can follow suit to make sure that every effort is made to keep UK homeowners in their homes for as long as possible.
Yes, I mean, they're saying there'll be no repossessions for the first 3 months. They're trying to obviously extend that as well. How much difference does that extension make to people and being able to keep their homes?
Well, it will allow some people a breathing period. I mean, often we'll advise people, if you've got mortgage arrears, first of all, speak to your mortgage lender. Can they give you a payment holiday? Can they put you on interest only for a while? I mean, we're going to see a lot of, a rise in unemployment, people that have been made redundant. But hopefully, if people can find other work, it's just short-term measures. It's just that short-term support they need before they're then earning again.
So you get calls from people all the time. Will this make an immediate difference, do you think, for them?
I think that it will allay some of the fears, hopefully, and it gives consumers something that they can say to their lender and say, well, we are aware that the government have now brought in, the pre-action protocol. This is something that we're hoping that you're going to comply with, and it gives consumers more support and hopefully more protection.
Okay, how much difference do you think it will make if we look at those really stark figures on mortgage repossessions? Do you think these kind of measures will stop just the sheer amount there are?
I guess only time will tell. I mean, we don't know yet how many redundancies there will be next year. So at the moment, it's all predicting what can happen. But all we can do is put in as many safeguards as possible and make sure that people know that there is free, independent debt advice available for them if they need it.
Okay, Becky Wilkes, so thanks very much. Let's speak to David Crowe. He's the Head of Personal Finance at fool.co.uk. Afternoon to you. You listened to Gordon Brown as well. What were your immediate thoughts?
Well, my immediate thoughts are, who is he trying to help with this package? I mean, I fully understand that what he's trying to do is to help the people who may be made redundant, who cannot keep up their mortgage repayments. That is fine. But there is another issue there, and that is the asset that these people have used for the mortgage is their house. Now, is he promising these people that house prices will not fall in the 6 months or a year after the staving off of the repossession? You see, one big danger that people have is that if they were to sell their house today, the house would actually realize a value of, say, 170, 180,000. Now, if you leave it for another 6 months, who's to say that house price hasn't actually fallen by another £20,000?
So you think actually it might be better for some people to actually sell their houses rather than waiting?
Well, quite right, because I mean, when you sell it in 6 months' time and the house price has fallen some more, it means that the amount of money that you owe to the bank is increased by the amount that the house has fallen in value by. So sometimes, sort of delaying the inevitable may sort of make people feel good, but taking the harsh moves now may actually be a better position for them.
Yes, that's an interesting perspective. Also, he said there were 3 measures, didn't he? The third of them was redundancy. Those affected by redundancy would be able to defer interest payments for up to 2 years. I mean, people will have to pay the money back at some point. How does that help people?
Well, what it will do is that the amount of interest will not start to roll up onto the debt itself. In other words, they can carry on paying some of the loan off during that period. But again, it really boils down to whether or not you will have a job at the end of 2 years. I mean, who knows how long this recession is going to last? And if the worst comes to the worst and it does go on for a lot longer, maybe, a better option would have been to sell up today, move into rented accommodation, and then sort of crystallize whatever losses you have.
Are you seeing, you deal with personal finance, are you seeing many more people in difficulties now? What sort of difficulties are they in?
Well, I mean, we have a discussion board called Dealing with Debt, and people are coming on there and saying, what are the various things that I can do? I mean, people are very worried out there. And Becky is absolutely right, that providing free helplines for people people to deal with that is invaluable, because a lot of people don't really understand what is going on and they don't know who to turn to. So, I mean, sites like ourselves and also, you know, these various other organisations out there, I think will be inundated with people looking for advice.
Okay, David Crowe, thanks very much from fool.co.uk. Thank you for your time. It has been an extraordinary day in many ways in Westminster. Let's get more from John Sopel, who's there for us. Hello, John.